Hello, my name is Corina. I am in Tom's autistic carnivore group and also have done a testimonial video with him on YouTube. I very much enjoy myself in the carnivore community, and I very much want to thank you for putting out all this information. I love to listen to your podcasts and daily YouTube videos. It's really very educational. And I would say going carnivore myself has saved me from doom. But let's start at the beginning. I was born in Switzerland in 1974, and I still live in Switzerland and work there. Although I have traveled around quite a lot from all over Europe, United States, mainly New York. Then I went to China for a trip, Malaysia, and so on. Whenever I was in a country, I tried to eat the way locals eat. That's how my parents taught me, and that's how I developed my love for seafood. I grew up eating a lot of traditional Swiss food, famous fondue or raclette, which is melted cheese in different ways prepared. And already as a kid, I could not digest warm milk well. It was like a stone in my stomach. I remember that very well. Or then we have the Swiss famous Bircher muesli, which is a combination of grains, milk, and berries. And you usually eat that in summer. But it's a horrible food combination, and I had trouble digesting that one as well, of course. And I often felt sleepy after such heavy meals, but I had no idea it could be the food. And for many years, I just kept eating the way I was taught. And I had no idea I was allergic to dairy. As a kid, I pretty much ate everything from meats to cheeses to seafoods, but also lots of bread, carbohydrates, cakes, cookies, not so many fruits and not so many veggies. That came later as a vegetarian and vegan. Unfortunately, Switzerland is famous for its chocolate too, and I really stuffed my face with it. I ended up being a sugar junkie, having chocolate and cookies every single day for years and years. So around age 20, I became a vegetarian. I stopped eating meat and seafood, but continued to eat eggs and dairy. I weaned off of white sugar and dairy in 2007 because I had a severe burnout, and some natural doctor told me I should do that. My body is not made to consume sugar and dairy, so I listened to that. It made much sense. And I was desperate and felt so exhausted, having muscle pains back then already and migraines. Unfortunately, it did not really bring that change. I continued to be a vegetarian, but still ate a lot of bread and brown rice, and quite healthy according to vegetarian standards, organic foods, veggies, soy, all that. Lots of carbs. And then in 2014, I decided to go vegan. Well, I know now how this diet will destroy your health slowly and steadily. But back then, I had no idea. I tried fruitarianism for approximately 1 year, around 2016, but cheated with vegan dishes whenever I had the opportunity, especially when I traveled to the United Kingdom, because they just have awesome vegan foods in London, so I tried everything, and fruitarianism is really hard to do, just fruits, and my teeth started to rot, of course, and yeah, I didn't feel so well. My digestion was actually better on fruitarianism. I know now why, because I left out all the gluten and veggies. But apart from that, I didn't feel so great. Those sugar rushes you have, and then you feel so faint when you go hungry after every hour again. That's no fun. So anyways, I went back to eating vegan. But then it was horrible. I felt bloated and digestive issues, diarrhea, constipation, gas, weakness, feeling exhausted, depressed, brain fog, all of that. And in May 2018, I suddenly had hip pain that did not go away, and it started to get worse. In the morning when I woke up, I felt stiff, and my vision got worse. I could not read small print or read in bad light. It was a bit difficult, and my sight had always been really well, so that was concerning. But the worst thing was back pain. I got out of bed and had to sit down right away because I was in pain. And then at work, I could not stand longer than 30 minutes and had to sit down because I was in back pain and hip pain and everything. And sitting down helped. But the pain didn't go away. Whatever I tried, stretching, massage, it didn't help. And on top of that, I had no energy and I was bloated all the time, feeling extremely uncomfortable in my body. Joint pain started, sandy feeling in my shoulder, that grainy sound it makes. Very strange, and I was really getting worried about this whole health decline, because my job is quite demanding. I have to be on my legs all the time, serving customers. So if you cannot keep that up, you cannot provide yourself, you lose your job. I was getting worried. And underneath I had this low-level depression and anxiety issues going on. And on my days off, I was just recovering from work. No activity possible, no energy. Yeah, same old story as for every other vegan. Then the chronic migraines. I would say my migraines started after I became a vegetarian. And actually, I think it was the soy that might have triggered it. I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, and from then on, for decades, I used to have menstrual migraines along with PMDD, but also stress-related migraines. And every time I did some exercise or running, I got a migraine too. After that burnout, my body just could not take any physical strain anymore, which was frustrating. Apparently, many autistics suffer from migraines. Might be GI related, perhaps, but since our brains work way harder than other people's brains. It can lead to those sensory overload issues and then cause migraines. I'm not sure. But then many autistics have a very high carb loaded diet as well. So probably it's all linked. Well, and whenever I ate the wrong foods, by now I have marked them as so-called trigger foods, be it dairy, whey in particular, casein, lactose, and then gluten, soy, maltodextrin, sugar in general, or MSG. Every time I had those accidentally, often I got a migraine. And for 3 days, that was no fun. But for me, by now, I am 6 months into carnivore, and only recently my migraines have morphed into rather very mild headaches. And I was like, oh, where did the pain go? I used to get severe migraines when it was busy at work, and I felt stressed every time. This time, super busy at work, and I got super angry and stressed for a moment. Expected to have a migraine the next day as usual, but nothing. Got out of bed next morning feeling fine. I was like, what's going on here? And this is so new to me. And that's really amazing, isn't it? I do think it might be from the fat intake, maybe the salt as well. Paul Saladino talks about how important the electrolytes are on carnivore. But then I started eating pork cracklings. I ordered them from where I ordered the high quality lard. And those are my crunchy stimming treats. Many autistics like crunchy food. Me too. And this is a healthy alternative to chips. And and those pork cracklings are actually salted with iodized salt. And apparently some people have cured their headaches and migraines by taking more iodine. So I'm not sure what exactly it is, but anyway, I'm happy my migraines are basically gone. I also take more raw liver by now and seafoods, and as well duck fat for the vitamin K2. Yeah, that is that. And I was always cold as a vegan. I used to be so very cold, and I had layers and layers of sweaters on me. Even in summer, cold hands, cold feet, freezing. And this has become better. I finally have warm hands. That's really a miracle for me. And beginning of 2019, I tried paleo first. Did not work for me. Then I tried paleo autoimmune, leaving out the nuts and seeds and stuff. Then didn't work for me. Still bloated. Still not really feeling better, even though I had added the meat back in. Yeah, and then I read Natasha Campbell McBride's book, and she says some autistics just cannot tolerate any plant foods. So I thought, okay, maybe I am one of them. And then almost at the same time, I learned about oxalates and other plant anti-nutrients, and so that was it. I decided to try carnivore. And since then, I've listened to many carnivore videos, And yeah, it took my body a while to adapt. I have been such a long time a vegetarian and 4 years basically a vegan. And yeah, I supplement with potassium and omega-3 at this point. But apart from that, I just eat meat and seafood. And now, 6 months in, I am really starting to feel amazing, and the results are stunning. Hip pain is gone. I have no issues standing for a long time, no back pain whatsoever, no joint pain, no longer bloated, no gas, perfect digestion, PMS symptoms gone. I only get a little irritated, but otherwise barely notice my period. Depression gone, anxiety almost non-existent, cognitive function way better, brain fog gone. I used to have misophonia, but now I can tolerate noises much better. And what I also noticed about the noise, whenever there was background noise, I could not understand a word what the person right next to me was saying. And this seems to have become a little better as well. So that's stunning. I have become way better in socializing for some reason. It's not so hard keeping eye contact. Yeah, that's interesting. And at work, my stress resilience is really so much better. And if I'm stressed and in fight mode, I bounce back quite quickly, calming down without the meltdown. Yeah, that's about it. Now I got my enthusiasm and my creativity back. Guess the reduction in inflammation has led to more dopamine release or something. I finally feel I can turn my life around. My body has become my best friend, and now we work as a team. And that's just a really amazing feeling. I'm so grateful and happy about this change. And again, thank you again for all your work.